this experience was totally cool. And, let's see. I was talking to them, him or whatever. I always say, come on, you gonna come give me an experience? An out-of-body experience? Or virtual reality experience? A lucid dream? I always say it like that when I wake up. Now, sometimes, of course, like, if I go to bed and I sleep through the whole night, then, sometimes I don't get an experience because, and sometimes I think they wake you up on purpose. Yeah, they wake me up on purpose sometimes like 2 in the morning. So then when I get up and then I lay back down, I'm in that perfect grogginess. I mean, once I try to go back to sleep, I get into that perfect state where they can abduct me consciously. So sometimes they do that on purpose. They wake me up. But yeah, sometimes if I, like last night I totally slept through the whole freaking night. And, so if you just sleep through the night like that, then like I say, you'll still remember some dreams or whatever that they give you. But as far as the actual abductions and stuff, they have to get you in a different kind of state of mind. I mean, a different kind of wave state of your brain. But, okay, so on March 6th, yeah, like I woke up, well, I've been waking up at like 2 or 3 and can't get the hell back to sleep because I've been stressed out. But, yeah, so on March 6th, I woke up at like 2 or 3 and I wasn't really expecting an experience, to tell you the truth, but I got it. So I just mentally, lay there with my eyes closed, and I'm just like, reptilians, you want to come give me an experience? Out-of-body experience, lucid dream, virtual reality experience, dream. I just say it like that. And then lots of times I'll say, but this time I did not say it could be sexual or non-sexual. I did not say that at all. I was just like, want to come give me an experience? Like virtual reality experience? Out-of-body experience? I did not ask for, I did not say, oh, it could be sexual or non-sexual. This time. But I did get an experience on March 6th, and I do believe it was Joel again that gave me it. Because he's very crude. And, he's a voyeurist, and I know his personality well. But there's a couple other reptilians that give me experiences, and they're not perverts whatsoever. But, okay, so this is how the out-of-body experience started. And it's really weird because sometimes they literally can just pull your brain, your astral brain consciousness out, and you don't really feel like your whole body is going out of body. But then when they, like, plop you in the UFO and plop you down into the cave or whatever, the experience, I mean, my astral body was there. I was totally there. I mean, it was so awesome. My whole astral body and everything. So, they have millions of ways of abducting me. And they all have their own unique way of doing it and many different ways of doing it. And it all feels very different. Very, very different. The out-of-body experiences. Sometimes they feel, the same. If they come to my bedroom and then they pull me out at that couple split seconds before I go to sleep, they have to pull me out a couple split seconds before I fall asleep. And then they put me into whatever scenario they want to put me into. But, yeah, those, if they do it like that, those feel the same. But the beings have other ways of doing it, too. and where they have many ways of doing it. It just depends on whatever they prefer. But yeah, so they can feel very, very, very different, the way that they take you out of body. And sometimes, like I say, the same being, doesn't always prefer to take me out of body exactly the same 100%, all the time. If you know what I'm saying. Because this time, Joel did it a little different. Like, he didn't come to my bedroom and lean at the foot of my bed or whatever and take me out that split second before I fell asleep. He didn't do it that way this time. I started talking to him and them, like 2 or 3 in the morning. And then the next thing I know, boom, I'm twirling. I go, phew, I'm twirling, not twirling, I'm kind of like out of body. I'm out of body, on my butt, out of body, floating, couple feet off the ground on my butt, kind of like I'm just sitting in a chair or whatever. And I'm plopped into this tunnel. It was a blast. And I immediately go down. I'm plopped into a very very narrow. It wasn't a cave, it was a tunnel, and like I say, this is the first experience that he's ever given me in a black tunnel, very narrow tunnel. It wasn't a cave, but it was a very narrow tunnel. And so that's how it started. He plopped me in this tunnel. And I'm just like, whew, I completely go like I start, just stationary, just kind of floating there, and then I dip down. It was like a little roller coaster ride, is what it was like. It's total blast, man. Yeah, it was like a roller coaster ride. I just go down, and I keep twirling, kind of veering around corners and stuff. Not twirling, I mean veering around the corners of the tunnel. And yeah, and I think maybe what he copied from was he could have copied from my brain Fire in the Hole at Silver Dollar City, because that would be the only thing that I can think of, because they go by, a lot of times, whatever's in your brain, they kind of try to mimic a lot of that stuff, and they put that stuff in your scenarios. And so I think that's what he was trying to go by, because if you ride Fire in the Hole, Silver Dollar City, there's a couple dips, 2 to 3 dips, but it's not a cave, it's a tunnel. And but this tunnel was a lot more narrow. In my abduction scenario, it was more narrow. Yeah, so basically he starts me in a tunnel, a black tunnel, and I immediately dip down and start veering around the corners. It was a blast. And no, I don't know why I said twirling. I wasn't twirling. I just mean kind of going, bobbing left to right as I was traveling kind of fast through this black tunnel, going around the corners. But I immediately, at first, he had me dip down. It was like a little roller coaster ride. And it was a blast. And I probably traveled at about 40 miles an hour, I would say. I've also traveled at 1,000 miles an hour before, but this was 40 miles an hour. And that lasted, probably seemed like many minutes. It may not have been quite many minutes, but it lasted quite a while, and it was a total blast. Okay, then the next thing I know, I'm in this, I'm in this building. Straight ahead is just like a white wall. Just, when he plops me into the building, I was only about 7 or 8 feet away from the white wall. And then over to my right was a big, huge room of children just like kind of running around and playing. They were just running around and playing like as if I was in a school or something. But it didn't really seem like a school. It just seemed like a daycare center. Yeah, that's what it seemed like. A daycare center. And then, okay, so over to my right was the children playing around. And then I veered on around to my right again. And there was a big kitchen, like a big kitchen area. And it was all like a total mess. And this isn't the first time. A lot of times they'll like freaking trash my scenarios. I mean, there'll be like trash everywhere. He's done that many, many, many times. Trash my scenarios. And like I say, there was a kitchen, and that's why I put a kitchen right here. There was a big, huge kitchen, and it was just all trashed. Cups and everything everywhere. Okay, then, on around to the right again, he places me in the corner. He places me in the corner of the kitchen, and I'm just sitting there in the corner. And, that particular area was just like when you go into somebody's house and they have that clutter disorder, hoarder, when they have that hoarder disorder, and it was just like this in that corner. I mean, but it was mainly more not like office stuff. It was more like food. It was more like food items and cups, not like office stuff, but the food items. Just all in that corner. I mean, and I couldn't even hardly, move because it was just all clutter, like food and food products and wrappers and stuff. And, oh my God, I forgot to tell you one important part, which was a fun part, but I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so then, next thing I know, he does this virtual reality sexual stuff on me. He's very, very crude. A lot of the reptilians are very crude. Like, my reptilians aren't sadistic, they're just very, very crude. And it's so crude, I can't even, I can't say it because it's too crude, it's too embarrassing. Oh, but here again, Joel has turned me into a hermaphrodite in my abductions countless of times. Like I say, for them to want to have one-on-one sex with you, that's the last thing on their mind. With a lot of these beings, they could give a shit about that. They just want to play with you like a little toy and be like, let me do this sexually to her. Let me make her do this. And you know what I'm saying? They just want to play with you like a cat on a mouse. And that's how Joel is. That's how his personality is. And he's also a bully. I've had 3 other abductions too, but I'll tell about those later. That was just recently, like a couple days ago. This was on March 6th, this experience. So then, but anyway, yes, he's turned me into a hermaphrodite many, many, many times. That's something that he likes to do to me. But this time, it was the same similar experience that he gave me. And like I say, sometimes, normally when he turns me into a hermaphrodite, he does virtual reality on me. Like, I'll look down and then I watch this, appendage grow out of my body. But this time, it was really weird and different. It was a little bit different. And, it was a little bit different. But I mean, it's so crude, man. Oh my God. It's so crude, I just can't say it because it's just way too embarrassing. It was just so funny. Like I say, these beings, man, they're just freaking, they have the most crude personality. But they're very comical. I mean, they're almost comical too. I mean, they're very comical, but they're very crude. But I can tell you, part of the sexual part, it did involve, not a salt and pepper shaker, but salt and pepper. But like I say, it was just so weird. But yeah, so that's too crude. It's too crude to really say everything. But anyway, but yeah, he's forever turning me into a hermaphrodite. He's done it like 25 times now in my abductions. And so anyway, I mean, I love my experiences because like there's never one that's exactly alike. And like I say, this is the first time he's like, wow, like whew, dipped me down, you know, into a tunnel. It was fun. It was like a little amusement ride. So that was really fun. I mean, it was just like this, the tunnels. Just veering around the corner, you know, on my butt, out of body, a couple feet off the ground. It was a total blast. And, but I forgot one of the funnest parts. And I'm trying to think if, I meant to tell this abduction earlier, but I got distracted. And so I'm making sure I'm not forgetting anything. But, okay, so let me think here real quick. I mean, I know there's already one part that I'm about to mention, but I'm trying to think if I forgot anything else. Okay, so that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so anyway, the part that I did forget, after he, this was the beginning, after he made me like dip down into the black tunnel, I mean, yeah, he was there with me, but I couldn't see him. But I was basically by myself, but of course he was watching me. So I plopped down into, not plopped down, but he places me in the tunnel. I immediately dip down, veer to the left, veer to the right through this tunnel, around the corners, about 40 miles an hour. Okay, the next thing I know, I'm actually in, I'm actually in like a cart. It's almost like what I put here, like a cart, like a little train. I'm in like a little train, but I don't actually remember seeing like the outside of the train. It's like after he took me in the tunnel and plopped me in the tunnel, and I like dipped down and traveled around the corners and stuff. Then I ended up in a train, a cart, but I couldn't actually see the cart. But what I could see, I mean, at this point, I already knew I was out of body. I already knew I was under the abduction. I already knew I was in the abduction once he placed me in the, at the beginning of the abduction, once he placed me in the black tunnel. But at the beginning of this video, I forgot to tell you, after the black tunnel part, after I dipped down, veered around the corners, it was like he placed me in a train. It's just a cart, like a train, a cart, or whatever you call them. I don't know what the hell you call them. A subway cart or something. And I was standing there. Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, there was a bunch of other people too standing there with me. But I didn't pay attention to them. I didn't pay attention to their faces or anything. And like I said, I already knew I was out of body, and whenever I'm out of body, I'm always like, wow, I want to touch this, because it always amazes me that everything feels so physical. Now, I can't speak for anybody else. If they go out of body, I don't know. I can only speak for myself. But all of my experiences, all of my out-of-body experiences are physical. All my lucid dreams are physical. All my out-of-body experiences are physical. All of my dreams are physical. And all of my lucid dreams are physical. It's all physical. But I'm out of body. And so I looked, when I'm standing there in the car, and there's a bunch of other people, and I didn't even care to really look at them or look at their faces or anything like that. I turned to my right, and like I say, as we were traveling along, we were traveling left. We were traveling to the left. And at that time, we were just going about, just slow, very, very slow, like 15, 20 miles an hour. And I looked on the wall. The wall, it was like it was on a track, like a track. I guess you could say, I was kind of like on another amusement ride again. And, like a track on the wall, there's like two lines, it was like a track that the cart was on to make it move along. And then, I kept looking at the wall and the little track, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna touch this track as it's moving, you know, as we were moving to see if it, still feels physical, because I'm always amazed at that. And it was blue, a matter of fact. The track, I just put that track there, but the track on the wall, as, that made the cart move along or whatever. No, it wasn't on the ground. It's, it was on the wall. That's how, the cart was moving along on this track on the wall, like a couple lines, but it was blue. And I reached out and touched the wall, the track, and it's like, I was just like, wow, everything still, it feels physical. Because I love going around touching stuff. When they put me in these abductions, I love going around touching stuff because everything still feels so physical, and I'm always amazed at that. So see, a lot of times when I do that, like, I don't think I'm being controlled. He controlled everything else, but I don't necessarily think that he controlled me to do that, because that happens over and over again in my experiences. Like, they'll take me out of body, and a lot of times I have a little bit of independence where I can, like, feel things when I'm out of body. And where I want to, go up and touch them, because I'm always amazed that everything feels so physical. But like I say, I don't really know if he still controlled that and made me think like, wow. But it was blue. The track, the little lines on the wall, the track that the cart was connected to, it was blue. And I just reached out and I was just like, wow, everything feels physical. Because I'm always totally amazed at that. It's a total freaking blast. Like I say, I can't speak for anybody else. I don't know. When other people have out-of-body experiences, I don't know if they can relate to me at all. But yeah. So, anyway, that was my experience, and I'm pretty sure I didn't forget anything, except at the beginning I forgot to tell you about, because like I say, that's one of the most amazing things to me. That's a total blast when I feel like I have a little bit of independence when I'm out of body in these abductions. And I'm actually allowed to, like, kind of do what I want. And I felt like I was able to do what I want, because that's why I was like, wow, okay, I'm out of body. It feels like I have some independence. I'm going to reach out and touch the track. The cart was still moving along to the left. And I reached out to touch the blue, the blue track. And I was just like, wow, it still feels physical. Because I'm always amazed at that. And to me, that's just a freaking blast. Okay, well, that was my experience in the, what do you call it? A daycare center with a big kitchen. I didn't see any teachers around. I didn't see any adults around. Well, actually, you know what? There could have been I think there could have been a couple adults standing around in the kitchen, a couple women, but I couldn't remember exactly what they looked like. But yeah. So anyway, that's why I like to do these experiences a little earlier than what I did, because a lot of times, sometimes you will forget some details if you don't. Sometimes you don't, but a lot of times if you wait too long, you will forget, a few details. But yeah, I think there actually was, there was actually, my memory's coming back. There was a few adults. I can't remember if I saw any men. I don't think there were any men, but there were at least 2 women in the kitchen just standing around. And, but like I say, I never talked to them or anything like that. The next thing, he places me in the corner and all this freaking clutter of food wrappers and food and dishes and crap. And does that sexual stuff to me. Virtual reality style. But like I say, some out-of-body experiences, well, they're still virtual reality, but some out-of-body experiences, they do these amazing virtual reality stuff in them. And some lucid dreams, they do virtual reality stuff. And some dreams, they do virtual reality stuff. all of my dreams, all of my lucid dreams, all of my virtual reality experiences, all of my out-of-body experiences are basically all virtual reality experiences. Except, sometimes, like the dreams, and the lucid dreams, it's just a matter of the degree of artificialness about them. The degree of how artificial they fill the atmosphere. But yeah, they're all a freaking blast, man. But yeah, okay, so my memory came back. Yeah, there actually were a couple adults standing around in the kitchen like as if they were making food or something for the kids or whatever. But it didn't really seem like they were really, watching the kids like they were supposed to or anything. But, yeah, it was a blast. And like I say, this is the first experience where, it's like he puts me in a little amusement park, a little amusement ride, like a tunnel, like a black tunnel little ride. And it was fun. Total blast. Yeah, so you need to get to know your aliens in your life, and they will give you all sorts of out-of-body experiences and stuff. It's a total blast. So just talk to them and see what happens. Because you can develop, the skill. It was very easy for me because they already taught me how to go out of body every damn day back in 2003 through 2006, and then I had an out-of-body experience that was very, very clear. And I knew I was out of body when I was like 7 years old. I knew it wasn't a dream. I knew I was out of body, but I didn't know it was called out-of-body experience. And so then, of course, 2003 through 2006, well, of course, I'm sure I had a lot of virtual reality experiences in my altered state of consciousness, but I didn't know what the hell they were. I guess I knew that, I don't know. I didn't really pay attention much, seemed like. Because, I went out of body a unique way, the same way from 2003 to 2006. And then 2006, it seemed like the activity, it seemed like I wasn't going out of body in that manner anymore. But I know I was having all sorts of virtual reality experiences and, which is a little different than just shooting off out of body that split second before you fall asleep. So at the time, from 2007 through 2012 or 2013 or whatever, I was still having all these awesome lucid dreams and virtual reality experiences, but I didn't know they were still out-of-body experiences, so to speak. And I wasn't having, I wasn't like shooting off that split second before I fell asleep a lot of times during those years. So, it just seemed like I couldn't understand why I wasn't going out of body like that anymore. But like I say, I was still having all these virtual reality experiences and or lucid dreams and all that still. But I just wasn't doing the out-of-body experiences, in that manner that I was from 2003 through 2006. And then it was, like I say, for some reason, I got good at, I started talking to the reptilians in 2000 and, actually I started talking to my higher powers, but it was the reptilians that kept coming to give me out-of-body experiences. I started talking to, my higher powers in like 2012, and then it was like 2013 when I figured out that it was the reptilians that kept coming, giving me out-of-body experiences. And then I started thinking back how in 2004 I was having all these out-of-body experiences. And so anyway, so then, it just, they kept taking me out of body the exact same way that I would always shoot out of body back in 2003 through 2006. They kept taking me out of body in the same way, like they would whoosh, they would fly down and then whoosh, whip me out at the top of my head the split second before I fell asleep. you know, I knew that that's how you go out of body, and that's how they would take me out of body as well. Yeah, and so for me, it just became very easy for me, and now it's really, really easy for me to get these experiences. But like I say, you have to get out of the matrix. You have to get out of your trance. You got to get out of complete trance, and then you'll be totally conscious in all of these experiences. Your lucid dreams, your dreams, your your out of body experiences. You'll be totally, totally conscious. I mean, it's total blast. But yeah, I mean, I know for some people this sounds really hard to do all this stuff, but like I say, for me, it's very easy. But also in 2003 through 2006, I do believe now that it was, I did have some reptilian out-of-body experiences, abductions then too. And I haven't talked about those experiences yet either, but most of those other times, when I thought I was going out of body by myself, but I do believe the aliens, the Greys, I believe it was the Greys that tampered with my brain to just bam, make me shoot off out of body every damn morning. Well, actually not morning, it was afternoon because I worked nights then. They somehow put me on some kind of program. And that's why I was able to just, like every afternoon, once I broke the sleep cycle, shoot out of body, and I would land what I thought was random places and random dimensions, and now I do not believe that. I know, I was being controlled by the aliens. The aliens were controlling where they plot me. But at the time, I thought I was just randomly landing in these other dimensions. Some of them were in real time. I would just be landing in real time, out of body in real time, 3D real time. Or that's from my perception. And then other times, it's like I knew I was kind of like in another dimension. And other times, I maybe didn't know. And another time I knew that I actually went to the schoolhouse down the road in real time. I knew that. Another time I went to Africa, or they plopped me down in Africa. And other times it's like I knew I was actually in the heaven realm. But like I say, it was like, just a few years ago. That's something that the aliens have always liked to do. They like to give me these lucid dreams, virtual reality experiences, and out-of-body experiences, and they like to actually tell me in my, they like to relay the message to me. Like, oh, okay, I'm in Africa, okay. Or like, oh, okay, I'm in Romania. They tell me all that. That's something they've been doing for a long time. They like to place me in different, cities, states, countries, or whatever. Sometimes they'll place me in small towns. They place me in, I haven't talked about that scenario either, but they placed me in, they gave me a little out-of-body experience, aka virtual reality type of lucid dream, when I was in Joplin. Me and my mom were sitting there at, outside at a gas station. The gas station was like closed up. And another thing they like to do, they put black people in my scenarios. Anyway, a black man walked up, and he was showing me this wild, high-tech, out-of-this-world wave board. And I was just like staring at it. It was like 3 feet long. It was high-tech. He was able to get on it and just like whip around the pavement. And it's like he was just controlling it with his mind, and it was able to just stop on a dime. It was able to turn on a dime. It was out of this world. It was like, that's not the first time that they put stuff in my scenarios that's like from the future. And, but anyway, that was like a little virtual reality scenario that they plopped me in Joplin, Missouri, at this gas station. and my mom was there with me. And, well, I wasn't really planning on talking about this experience, but I guess I will. I'll say the end of it. It's not much longer. And, so then, the other part was, I remember seeing a white man, like, traipse, go by on the sidewalk in this weird, huge, it wasn't a bicycle, it was like a tricycle, except it was this huge tricycle. He went traipsing along in his tricycle along the sidewalk. But like I say, the main thing was the black person came up from behind us when we were sitting in the lawn chairs in the pavement of this closed down gas station. And like I say, the main thing was, I mean, it looked like there was like a little electrical little components, you know, on this black, it was black, this black wave board type of thing. If you don't know what a wave board is or a longboard is, look it up. But yeah, and at the time I didn't own a longboard, but I did own a wave board. And I've done that, you know, many times on the pavement or whatever. And, well, now I have a longboard, and I need to do that again. I had messed up the wheel alignment last time, but I think I have it fixed. But, yeah, so, but that was, like, so cool. I mean, this was something from the future. This was, like, technology from the future. And who knows if something like that will ever exist, but it was totally cool. And, yeah, and this experience was totally non-sexual. Sometimes they don't, you know, put sexual stuff in my scenarios. But, okay, there was another out-of-this-world technological thing that was in this virtual reality experience to Joplin, to Joplin, Missouri. And, okay, so after I saw this white guy traipsing along, riding his big old huge tricycle along the sidewalk, he was going really slow. I went to the sidewalk and I looked out into the distance, and there was this, it was this car. I mean, I can't remember exactly what it looked like because it had been many, many months ago. And, you know, I never did, I guess, I can't even remember if I started making, I don't even think I started making YouTube videos then. But yeah, it was this high-tech, out-of-this-world car that doesn't even exist today. This car from the future that went by going to the right. And, but like I say, if I would remember if I immediately, you know, told about the story, about this experience, but yeah, but it was, all you have to know is that it was from the future. This high-tech car. That car was from the future, and the wave board was from the future. I mean, it was so cool. And, of course, like I say, sometimes they put very, very comical things. And, yeah, I would have to classify this guy and this big old, tall, tricycle-looking thing, this weird-looking bicycle, but it was more like a tricycle. It was very odd-looking. Yeah, they do very comical things like that sometimes. Okay, well, it didn't really plan to tell my story about Joplin, but there we go. And thanks for listening. But yeah, I have a very active, I'm living another life in all these other realities. It's a total blast. And I have a very active sex life in these, you know, other realities too. But it's all due to the reptilians. Oh my God, there was, this was just a couple weeks ago, but oh my God, I can't even talk about that one. I mean, oh my God, it was just sex throughout the whole damn thing. But this was more like a dream. This was more like, I mean, but it was still very, very clear. So for lack of a better word, I guess I'll call it a lucid dream, but it wasn't. It was just a dream. But yeah, it was very clear. And, but, you know, it just felt more artificial than a lucid dream. And, I mean, I was at he placed me at an airport. But anyway, it was just like, I mean, it was just sex throughout the whole damn thing. And sometimes, too, I think, I don't know, like if you're really stressed out or something, which I was really stressed out. about something, and sometimes I think that's why I have weird. I mean, why this wasn't my own dream, but that's why they give me weird dreams too, like that sometimes. I mean, because I was kind of out of the norm, just where it was just weird, like sex throughout the whole damn thing. And I don't know, like maybe those kind of reptilians tend to cling on to you when you're stressing out about something. But yeah, it was different. You know what I mean? Not like the normal experiences that I normally have. Well, thanks for listening.